Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm so excited today because we are starting to go deeper into this topic. This topic, we have been talking about the different ways in which potential is going to speak to us. But before we can even go there, we've been discussing the different ways we respond to the voice of potential. We've established already that there is no question about it. It doesn't matter. As long as you're a human being, you have potential and potential is going to speak to you. The question is, how are you going to respond to it? We've already established that there are 4 ways we negatively respond to the voice of potential. The first one, we ignore it. Sometimes we silence it. Sometimes we just crowd it out. Or sometimes we just respond to it half-heartedly. Those are the 4 ways in which we respond to the voice of potential. But today, we're going to start looking at exactly how does this potential speak to you and speak to me. It's going to be interesting, so stay tuned.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Ladies and gentlemen, to listen to the voice of potential, because it does speak, we've got to learn to listen. We've got to learn to hear the voice of potential. It does speak every single day. You'll be shocked. It's just like right now, wherever place it is that you are, there are very many airwaves going on. I mean, in the airwaves, there are very many, what do they call them? Radio waves going on. The only thing you need is something to arrest those radio waves, and all of a sudden you're tuned on to a particular station or another. But without the gadgets, you cannot hear a thing. But it doesn't negate the fact that the radio waves are there. That's the same thing with potential. You and I have got to learn how to listen, to tune our voice to the voice of potential, to tune our ears to the voice of potential. See, potential represents possibility. And when you take possibility out of this world, you've killed us. It's like you're taking hope out of it. Why live? When you take possibility, every single day, let me tell you that one of the biggest reasons as to why we sleep and look forward to another day is because we have been wired to live with possibility. Tomorrow can be a possible day for my breakthrough, and so on and so forth. And therefore, if we are looking for things that are fully formed, things that are coherent, with a coherent voice, with a 7-point plan on how to get rich and how to hear the benign voice of potential to call it out, you will miss the voice of potential. It represents possibility. All the answers we ever needed in life, especially for the future, are all already available, but they are shrouded in the mystery of potential. This is a very extremely important point for us to consider, and I'm going to say it again. In terms of what is lying ahead, I think it was someone said that what lies behind us and what lies before us are nothing compared to what lies within us. See, I've said that all the answers that we ever needed in life, especially for the future, they are all already available, but they are shrouded in the mystery of potential. Let me tell you this, potential is a mystery. It's an adventure. You don't know until you venture. You have no idea. every company worth its salt, $1 trillion company, $1 billion company, $1 million company, whatever, they did not know the possibilities of where they could be. They didn't know the full extent. It has been an adventure for them. They are where they are because they ventured to listen to the voice of potential and dared enough to follow through that voice, to heed the voice and put action behind it. And that's why they are where they are. And I'm just laying this groundwork for us even before we can start talking about this. All the answers we ever needed in life, they are already available. I tell you, the question that we just need to answer is, what am I missing? And for the most part, or maybe to some extent, what we are missing is the voice, tuning into the voice of potential to hear it. That's what we could be missing. In science, technology, medicine, military wear, education, home life, arts, multimedia, transport and commerce, every sector of life has its biggest answers in potential. They have their biggest answers in there. So even before we can start talking about how exactly potential speaks to us, we've got to understand that there's got to be some sharpening of our ears. There's got to be some sharpening of our intuition. In fact, sometimes we just have got to learn to listen to intuition. I've done a series on this before. I can't remember which season it was. We've got to learn to dare to listen to intuition more than we listen to facts, figures, and researchers and market researchers and so on. I think it was Steve Jobs. No wonder. I just say no wonder. He said the customer doesn't know what they want. You cannot go to the customer and ask them, what do you want? In fact, it was this man who started making cars, Henry Ford, who said if I would have asked the customers what they want, they would have said they want better horses. I mean faster horses, not a horseless carriage. You get my point? Because the voice of potential, if you tune to listen to it, you will understand very quickly that not everyone is confident enough. Why is not everyone confident enough? Because people have not learned, have not educated themselves, have not made themselves used to listen and to hear this voice of potential and to follow its precepts, to follow its calling, to follow its desires, to follow its plans, to follow its map, right? We have not learned to listen to it. We have so much attuned ourselves to hear what we can hear, what our fathers had and what our grandfathers had and what our great-grandfathers had. And we are so duped into this thing of certainty and safety. We do not want to break outside of those known parameters, and therefore listening to potential is dangerous. It makes you a rebel. It makes you an outcast. It makes you to stand out like a sore thumb. It makes you different. It makes you to venture into the uncertain world. And when you venture into the uncertain world, it is uncomfortable. It is not easy. It is unknown. And we all want things that are known, things that are already calculated, things are already figured out, already been given. That's what we want to operate in. So a lot of us, many of us, have not tuned ourselves to listen to the voice of potential when it speaks. That's why we doubt potential. We doubt potential. It's been telling you that you are a writer, but you've doubted it. You've listened to what your teacher told you. You've listened to what the environment says, that writers are poor. You've listened to what the culture of the day and the fashion of the day is churning out, that writing is not on vogue, or writing. The same applies to spoken word, the same applies to poetry, the same applies to playing, whatever it is that is different, and it is the voice of potential speaking to you. You have doubted it because of all these things. And we spoke about that in the previous episodes. And now what we are saying is that we need to start listening and tuning our ears, and to start being faithful, and to start agreeing, or to start accepting the voice of potential whenever it speaks. And how does potential speak? I'm going to start telling you exactly how it does speak, and so that you can start training yourselves, so that when you see these things happening, you can now tune the voice of potential, the ear of potential, to tune it so that your ear is becoming so sharp. And now you start understanding, wait a minute, this is not just this, it is potential speaking. Tomorrow we start it, I promise. Stay tuned and bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.